In the timeline of tying the knot, there's a moment, often overlooked amidst the flurry of flower selections and venue viewings, where a significant decision awaits: when to buy your wedding bands. This choice, seemingly small against the grand backdrop of wedding planning, carries its own charm and importance. It's also really important to time it right if you want to make sure your rings are actually ready in time for your wedding ceremony. As we explore the when and the why of buying your wedding bands, we're not just talking logistics. We're honoring one of the many milestones that pave the way toward a lifetime of commitment. So, just where should that milestone fall on your path to wedded bliss? It depends on a number of factors, not the least of which is how soon you're getting married. The optimal time to start your search for your wedding bands is 6 to 9 months before your wedding. Not only does this window give you ample browsing time, come on, we all know how hard it is just to find the right pair of jeans, and this is a forever ring we're talking about. It also gives you ample waiting time. Things like custom designs, engravings, and special orders can all take a significant amount of time. So, the first factor involved in when to go shopping for your wedding bands is your wedding date. The sooner your wedding, the sooner you need to start shopping. And if you really want a custom ring with all of the personal flourishes, you need to make sure you have enough time between your engagement and the wedding. That means you shouldn't schedule your wedding for 2 months after your engagement. If you do, those custom wedding bands aren't going to happen. Closely tied to your specific wedding date is your wedding season. Summer weddings with their sunlit photos and outdoor venues are still all the rage, only matched by early fall. But when it comes to shopping for your wedding bands, you need to remember you're not the only ones tying the knot under those blue skies. It's during this high season that jewelers are neck-deep in orders, and that rush can lead to longer processing times. Picking a less crowded season for your wedding can not only snag you a faster turnaround time, it can actually fetch you a sweeter deal on those shiny tokens of your affection. But while the date of your wedding, season included, may be the most important factor when it comes to shopping for your wedding bands, it's not the end-all factor of when to start shopping for your bands. Some other essential factors you'll probably want to consider include fit, finances, and good old sentimentality. How your wedding band fits doesn't just matter during the initial shopping phase, it will ideally matter for years to come. Planning to shed pounds to fit into your wedding garb? If so, a ring that fits you 8 months before your wedding may not be such a great fit when your beloved slides it onto your finger on your actual wedding day. So, whenever you start ring shopping, leave enough time for a final fitting a month or 2 before the wedding. Of course, a final fitting won't matter if you choose a ring style that can't be resized, so if you're opting for an unresizable ring, like tungsten carbide or ceramic, it may be better to wait until a little closer to the wedding to choose and size your rings. Though it never hurts to do a little exploratory window shopping. On to the finances. Budgeting for your wedding bands is more than just setting aside some cash. It's about timing the market like a Wall Street whiz. Well, not quite, but knowing the best times to shop for your wedding bands can save you some serious cash. Post-Christmas sales are like a treasure trove for ring shoppers. Jewelers are looking to clear out inventory, and you've got a good chance to cash in on those savings. You can also try timing your buy before the wedding season kicks into full gear. Vendors are generally more willing to cut a deal before demand picks up. So, there you have it, right? You know when to start shopping for your wedding bands, when to work in that final fitting, and how to save some funds on your ring investment. What else could you possibly need? It's your wedding. How about a little sentiment? While good timing can make it much easier to secure exactly the bands you want, bands that will still fit on your fingers on your wedding day, at the best prices, where's the romance? The passion? Come on now, you're getting married. Let's kick it up a notch. Some duos sync their wedding band purchases with a date that's already etched on their hearts. Maybe it's the anniversary of the day you first met, your first date, your first kiss, or the day you took that leap and decided to spend your lives together. These dates have a magic all their own, and buying your bands on one of them weaves that magic right into the metal. Aligning your wedding band purchase with an important date in your relationship takes some planning. But if you're the type of person who swoons over a grand gesture, it may be worth taking other important dates into account. Your wedding bands are more than just jewelry. They are symbols of your history together and your future yet to come. Whether it's a spontaneous decision made on a Sunday afternoon stroll through an antique market, or a carefully calculated shopping expedition that coincides with your first kiss, the story behind your bands can be as unique as your love. The only truly set rule about when you should buy your wedding bands is that you should buy them early enough in your wedding planning that they won't lead to stress and aggravation closer to your wedding, with 6 to 9 months before the wedding being an ideal time range for most couples seeking handcrafted or one-of-a-kind bands. As for the rest, your choice of when to do your wedding band shopping is a delightful blend of the practical and the poetic. It's about finding that sweet spot where readiness meets romance and planning meets serendipity. It's not just about crossing another task off your wedding checklist. It's about choosing a moment that adds another layer to your love story. Whether you choose your bands under the first snow of winter, or as the summer solstice lights up the longest day of the year, let your timing be another chapter in the beautiful story you're writing together. A story that begins with "I do" and continues with every shared sunrise thereafter.
Rigid tungsten carbide rings. Simple, but as heavy as the love between you and your loved ones. For our full selection of rings, visit us at theartisanrings.com.